I want to show you a little chart, and there's a key time frame we're going to look at, and that's right around 1971, when the United States was taken off the gold standard once and for all. In other words, our money was no longer backed by gold. It was backed by nothing but pure faith from the rest of the world. And it wasn't just faith from the rest of the world, it was a forced faith from the rest of the world, because if they wanted to buy, sell, or trade oil, they had to have US dollars to do so, thus funding us, so to speak, or funding our exorbitant spending spree, which is absolutely out of control. This is from InfoWars, actually. It's a good article here. The United States of debt. Total debt in America, not just our deficit, right? Total debt in America hits new record high of nearly $60 trillion. What would you say if I told you that Americans are nearly $60 trillion in debt? Well, it's true. When you total up all forms of debt, including government debt, business debt, mortgage debt, and consumer debt, we are at $59.4 trillion in debt. That is an amount of money so large that it is difficult to describe it with words. For example, if you were alive when Jesus was born and you had spent $80 million every single day since then, you still would not have spent $60 trillion by now. And most of this debt has been accumulated in recent decades. If you go back 40 years, total debt in America was sitting at about $2.2 trillion. Somehow, and that's around that 1970 time frame, by the way, 1971. Somehow, over the past 4 decades, we have allowed the total amount of debt in the United States to get approximately 27 times larger. This is utter insanity, and anyone that thinks this is sustainable is completely deluded. We are living in the greatest debt bubble of all time, and there is no way that this is going to end well. Just look at this chart. And I'm going to show you the chart in a second. When the last recession hit, total debt in America actually started going down for a short period of time. But then the Federal Reserve and our politicians in Washington worked feverishly to reinflate the bubble, and they assured everyone that everything was going to be just fine. So Americans once again resorted to their free spending ways, and now total debt in the United States is rising at almost the same trajectory as before, and has hit new all-time high records. We see a similar thing when we look at the chart for consumer debt in America. So first, we're going to look at consumer debt. This, where my finger is 1970. You can see that this is going up at a pace that is incredible. From 1970, a few years after that, it just starts going way up. Now, the other debt chart was the $60 trillion of all debt. It says all sectors, credit market instruments, liability level, source, Board of Governors, Federal Reserve System. So once again, my finger, 1970, and you just see it shoot up in recent times, especially. You see that little dip. That's when he was talking about the little financial crisis happened. People got scared, stopped getting into, let's get out of debt for a little bit here, and then everything's fine, coast is clear. Okay, never mind. Let's go back to our American sheeple-like ways and just blow money like it's nothing. So I have to agree. If you think for 1 second that this is going to end well, you're smoking crack. Plain and simple. Take care.